body itself, and you were right about that. I didn't faint or I didn't have the stomach ache. Yeah.
Yes, it's your defilement that creates this feeling.
Yeah.
To deceive you, to stop you, to prevent you from.
Right.
So just ignore it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels good. Actually, the body is a lot lighter,
Yes.
and feel less sleepy. That's it. Ajahn. Thank you.
Okay. Then let me go to Michael. Hi, Michael from Brazil. Haven't seen you for a while. How are you?
I'm fine, Tanajan, and I'm participating. I don't have any specific question today. I'm just here to see how you are, if everything is okay, and to listen live your teachings.
Okay.
I continue with my practice. I haven't stopped it. I continue with the lockdown. The Delta variant of the virus is much more dangerous. So I'm still dedicated to my practice as since the beginning of the pandemic. And thank you very much for your teachings.
Okay, you're welcome. So let me go to Willie from Indonesia. Hi, Willie.
Good evening, Tanajan. I don't have any questions today. Thank you.
All right, Sajal Ka from Maryland, Silver Spring.
Good evening, Tanajan, and good morning from here. I also don't have any questions today. I just want to listen in. Thank you for your teaching.
Okay, nice to see you. Next, Bruce Lee from Indonesia.
Evening, Ajahn. I have no questions for now, Ajahn. Thank you.
Okay. Mechi Song, next you are from Malaysia.
Yes, Ajahn. Ajahn, I'd like to ask about the practice for Dukkha Vedana. So when investigating, because I have been sitting and my right knee is starting to inflame. So I would like to ask, what is the best way to deal with this? Thank you.
Well, if it's physical, you have to go to see a doctor, a specialist, to look after your physical, your body, Yes. But if it's just merely mental, I mean, nothing really wrong with your body. It's just that it's normal for the body to have ache and pain from time to time. Then, if that's the case, then you should use Dhamma to deal with it. Teach yourself that painful feeling is impermanent. It comes and goes like the other feelings. Good feelings, pleasant feelings also come and go. Painful feelings also come and go. They are anatta, meaning they are natural phenomena. You cannot tell them what to be. They have causes that cause them to rise and cease. Since you cannot really control them, then the only way for you to deal with them is to see them for what they are and not trying to change them or have a desire to get rid of them. Because when you have desire, then you are creating another bad feeling in your mind, which we call dukkha. This is what we can do, we can control. It's the dukkha created by our desire. By using wisdom or panya to see that feelings are something that we have to learn to live with. Like the weather, we learn to live with the weather. We don't try to change the weather. because we know we cannot change the weather. We cannot stop the rain. We cannot tell the sun to come out if it's raining. It just happened to be that way. But we can avoid dukkha in our mind if we just accept them for what they are. Same way with your painful feeling that arises in your body. And it's normal for the body to have feelings of different types. Sometimes pleasant feelings, sometimes painful feelings, sometimes neutral feelings. They have causes that make them to rise and cease. And they don't hurt you. They really they come from the body, and you are the mind. See? So if you understand this truth, then you just leave the feelings alone. Then you will not create any desire that will create dukkha in your mind. Okay?
Sadhu, thank you.
All right. Forrest Tom from Massachusetts, Boston.
Ajahn, I don't have any questions today. Thank you.
No question, okay. Next, Apang, Hani, and Siddhartha, all three together from Indonesia.
Good evening, Ajahn.
Good evening to you both, to you all. Any question from you today?
No question, only hearing Dhamma talk Ajahn.
Okay. Then go to Nanapat. Nanapat, do you have any question?
No question today. I just joined to listening.
Okay. Claudia from Germany.
Good afternoon from Germany, Tanachan. I have no question today. I'm just listening. Thank you.
All right. Then we go to Vignesh, BK, from India.
Hello.
Yes, can hear you good. Go ahead.
Today I have no question, Ajahn.
No question. Okay. Adeline and Philip from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur.
Good evening, Ajahn. No questions tonight.
Okay. Next be Ravin Chinnapon from Bangkok.
Good evening to you, Tanajan. I have a question today regarding my meditation practice. I've noticed sometimes when I meditate, my mind can be still for a certain period of time, but after a while, some thoughts may start to seep in. So my question is, should I go back and start watching my breath again, or should I try to get rid of my thoughts? I've tried both methods, but I'm not entirely sure which one is more effective.
If you can just tell yourself to stop, then that's more effective. It means you have strong mindfulness. When you see you're thinking and you just tell it to stop. If you cannot stop it, then you have to rely on a mantra or on watching your breath to stop your thinking. So it depends on which one works for you. But the best one is just use mindfulness, just to be, as soon as you're aware you're thinking, it stops right away. But it won't stop, then you have to divert its attention to your breath.
I've noticed that using mindfulness to stop my thinking is more effective because I don't have to go back and start from square one. I feel like if I can do it, it's more continuous.
You don't need to go back. Once you have mindfulness, you don't need to use this kammatthana objects to calm your mind. With strong mindfulness, you can just stop the thought in this track as soon as it comes up. But how long can you stop it? That's the problem. See, if you can just stop it briefly, and when it comes back again, then you might want to use your mindfulness of breathing, which might be able to keep it calm for a longer period of time. Well, it depends on how strong your mindfulness is also. So if you can stop and then remain calm for a long time, then you don't need to watch the breath. But if you tell it to stop and stop, and then you'll come back right away, then you might want to go back to your breath, to watching your breath. So this is something that you have to try and find out for yourself. There's no fixed formula for each individual. But the goal is the same, is to control your thoughts, to calm your mind.
I find that whenever I'm able to have no thoughts for longer periods of time, I'm able to stay more calm and more content for longer periods as well. Is this the fruits of my practice? Is this what I should expect or should experience if I?
That's right. You get more equanimity. With equanimity, you control your desire. So you have contentment, more contentment. No love, no hate, no fear, no delusion. The mind becomes contented, full, when the mind becomes still. But as soon as the mind starts to think, and when it thinks in the way of the defilement, then the mind starts to feel hunger for this or that thing or person. Okay?
Yeah, I've noticed that whether it's positive or negative, it feels agitated.
The same, yes.
Way. Yeah.
Love or hate, attraction or aversion can create agitation in the mind, restlessness, and discontent. But when you stop your thought, then contentment comes back. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
Any
that's
more questions?
very clear, Thanajan. Not for now. Thank you very much, Thanajan.
Next, Lillian, Malaysian, living in Bangkok.
Good evening, Thanajan. Tonight I have one question. I find that I am able to control my emotions and my thoughts much better after meditating for quite a while. But at times I just feel that I'm not totally letting go. For example, let's say I am frustrated or disappointed, or I have some kind of emotions. It feels that I am more suppressing the emotion rather than letting it go at the moment. I'm just wondering what is the best way to overcome that, because before I am actually able to let go, because I am a bit worried that if I suppress too much, I don't know, one day it might blow up or something, or I don't think I'm able to let go totally at the moment yet. So it's getting better, but I still feel that a lot of feelings are more suppressed than me letting it go.
You need to use wisdom to let go of your attachment to the object that cause you emotion. If you see them as being anicca, dukkha, anatta, then you would let go of your attachment or let go of your involvement with that object. If you see that that object will cause you dukkha, cause you unhappiness, trouble, mental trouble, then it's better not to have anything to do with it, with that object, whether it be person or thing. If you see that that person or thing will change or will change from good to bad, for instance, when they change from good to bad, then you will lose your happiness, and then you'll get unhappiness in place. So you see this in advance, then you detach yourself from that object.
Okay.
So this is the next step. First, you suppress it by mindfulness. You stop it by using mindfulness, reciting a mantra or something. When you're angry at someone, for instance, you just keep reciting the mantra until you forget about that person. Then your anger will disappear. But when you think of that person, your anger can arise again. So in order to suppress, get rid of your anger forever, you have to look at that person and see him or her that you cannot always control them. See? The reason why you get angry at that person because that person is doing something that you cannot control. So you just accept this truth and say, from now on, I'm not going to expect anything from that person. You're not going to control that person. That person can be nice to you or can be bad to you. It's something you have to accept. When you can accept this truth, then you will no longer get angry at that person. Especially if you can see that person like you, like a natural phenomena like the weather. But we tend to look at them as something like humans, individual, something that you can deal with. But actually they are all like the natural phenomena.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is the next step after you have subside your emotion, subdue your emotion, then you can think clearly with wisdom. Yeah. Before you want to change that person to suit your desire. But then when you look at the truth, then you say, sometimes you can do it and sometimes you cannot do it. When you cannot do it, then you can become sad or unhappy. So you don't want to become sad or unhappy. Don't try to change that person to suit your desire. Just accept that person for what he or she is. Sometimes today is good, tomorrow can be bad. People can change from day to day. Some day very nice, some day very nasty.
It's like a test every day.
Yeah, test your wisdom, see whether you can adjust your mind accordingly. Always stay in the middle. Always stay in ubekkha or equanimity, having no desire to change or to want that person to be this or being that. Just be an observer rather than be a player. This is the goal of being happy all the time. Is try to be just an observer.
Yep.
And let the world pass by. Don't be a player. Don't join the game. Then you get emotional. You get lost.
Yes. Okay.
So this is the goal of our practice, is to change our position from being a player to become just an observer or an audience. Don't go into the field and play with the player. Just be a watcher.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, good. Next, Alvin Lee from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur.
Good evening, Ajahn. Ajahn, I got quite a similar question to Rabin. Last few days I've been meditating, and sometimes I felt that the body doesn't exist, and I felt happy. But this feeling, this doesn't last for long, because then I go back to thoughts coming to my mind again, and then I go back to the breathing and wudu. Why And the question is, how come sometimes I don't feel that this body actually sitting down there exists?
When your mind becomes calm, your mind detached from your body. So as if the body doesn't exist at that time, when the mind becomes calm. But when when your mind starts to think, you start to reconnect to the body. So when you reconnect to the body, you want to use contemplation to remind yourself that the body is not you. So you just keep telling yourself, body is not me. When something happens to the body, you should not be disturbed because it's not you. See? But your mind has been trained to look at the body as being you, being part of you. So when anything happens to your body, your mind becomes disturbed. So this is where you have to practice vipassana, wisdom. When you come out of samadhi, then you teach your mind, remind your mind that your body is not you. It's just a servant, your servant, that you use it to accomplish your desire. So, but your body is something that you will have to get sick, get old, and die. Or you will have to get hurt by something or somebody sooner or later. Sometimes you might be able to protect it, sometimes you might not be able to protect it. But whatever, you should not be disturbed by what happens to your body. If you know truly that the body is not you. Like when you see other people get hurt, you're not disturbed, your mind not disturbed. So that's the way you should look at your body, like you're looking at somebody else's body. So this is
Only
a
a very short period, Tanajan, just like maybe 15 seconds. Then is it correct that I go back to my Buddha and my breath, looking at my breath? Or straight away contemplate that this body is not mine?
It depends on what you do. If you do meditation, you go back to your breath to calm your mind. It means you have briefly calm, like a kanika samadhi. Then it disappears quickly. So if you want your mind to become calm longer, then you have to continue on with your meditation.
Right.
Until eventually it reach appana samadhi, in which can become calm for longer duration, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, so forth. This is during meditation. But when you come out of meditation, then you can use vipassana to remind yourself that what you experience in your meditation is true, is that you and your body are two separate entities. You are the mind, and the body is just a robot. That the mind used the robot to do activity for the mind.
What about the feelings, Tanajan? And you feel good, it's like the good feeling arises.
Same thing, feelings come and go, good and bad feelings.
Right.
You just have to know how to properly control them. You get good feeling from calming your mind, and you get bad feeling from agitated mind, or a mind that desire, crave for things. So if you want to have good feeling, then you have to try to calm your mind, try to restrain your cravings, your desire. But if you cannot, then you just have to accept that this is temporary. Feelings come and go. Sometimes you don't have the mindfulness or the wisdom to teach your mind how to manage your feeling. Then the best thing you can do is just tell your mind that this is anicca, dukkha, anatta. Sooner or later it will disappear, and you don't need to do anything.
Right. Okay, Tanajan, thanks.
Okay. Kyuyan Dong from London. Haven't seen you for a while. How are you? Good?
I'm good, thank you, Ajahn. I've been following the Facebook. I didn't turn on the Zoom, but today I joined in just to say hello.
I see. No question either.
Well, I have no question because I know what the answer will be. It's just the effort to work on mindfulness and
Yes.
try to find
Yeah. At least you get the wisdom now. You have the wisdom to know what you need to do.
just the fake wisdom, Ajahn.
Then you have to force yourself to do it. Yeah. You can be mindful all day long. You can practice mindfulness all day long. Why not be mindful? Either with what you do or with a mantra, rather than let you dream, let your mind dreams about things, saying about things.
I think I'm still like get stuck with all of these around. So I think I have to find a seclusion place for myself and at least mentally forget about all of this.
Yes, if you can live simply, like nothing except for the four requisites of living, some basic, like staying in a monastery, like a mechi, then you would have more time to be able to be mindful and practice your meditation. Otherwise, you will have to manage things around you to maintain your status quo.
It's not really that. It's just like a family members. I stopped my job, so no job to worry about. But once you have bonding, it's so hard to stop and to detach yourself from everything. Although, like the fake wisdom told me, yeah, you have to do that, but
you have to keep reminding yourself that one day you're gonna be separate. Everyone, separation is part of life, and you try to deny this truth. You don't want separation to happen. So maybe you should contemplate on separation, like the Buddha told us to do. And once we are born, we are subjected to separation from people and things, sooner or later. Everybody, not just you, everybody is in the same boat.
But sometimes I wish like I can do that passively rather than do it actively.
Well, that means you are still cheating yourself or deceiving yourself. Unless you should prove it, go away for a while.
I know what it will be. I know it's perfect. I know that.
Okay.
I had 1 month away last year, and it's so good. I wish the COVID came just 2 weeks earlier, then I would never come back. But it's a bit 2 weeks later, so I came back and everything happened.
Always look at the Buddha as an example. He also have a family here. He have a child, son, wife, but he knows that this thing is temporary. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to lose them. If you stick with them, then you will not be tied and you won't be able to seek for your liberation from samsara. And look at the Buddha, he only went for 6 years. After 6 years, he returned to visit his family and taught the way to liberation. And they all became interested and eventually practiced and followed the path that the Buddha did and became liberated.
that's also another hurdle that I have, another obstacle that I have, because once I got the mindfulness, now I've lost it, and all the past memory just kills it. I mean, it's so hard to get over.
That's because you don't practice mindfulness. You practice thinking, think about the past. Instead of stopping it, you keep thinking about it. Mindfulness is to stop thinking about the past or about the future. And just be aware of the present. Be aware of what's going on, what you do.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is just a pointer for you. That's all. Doesn't mean that doesn't mean that you have to do it. But just try to.
I have to do it. I know I have to do it. It's just
okay.
I'm not strong enough.
All right. Maybe if you contemplate more and more, eventually you'll become stronger. Just contemplate on separation. This is going to happen. It's just a matter of time, when or where, when and where. What's going to happen. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next, Belinda from Singapore.
Hello, Ajahn.
You have any question tonight?
More questions about letting go. How do we know when we are being indifferent, or being upeka, or letting go? So is there a gray line, like just being indifferent?
With ubeka, you still deal with things. You deal with things that you have let go, like your body. You have let go of your body. You're ready for it to die anytime or get sick at any time. But you still look after the body as much as possible, as people normally will look after. You still feed it. You still take a bath. You wash the body. Not like somebody I heard that they have let go of the body, so they don't take a bath. They don't cut their hair, they don't comb their hair. This is indifferent. Okay? See the difference? You still deal with things, with people, with yourself and everything, but you deal with it in a non-emotional way. You're not attached to it. You can accept anything that's going to happen to it. Okay? Unlike your job, you still go to work, but you're ready to be fired at any time, ready to lose your salary if they ask you to cut down your salary, anything like that. But you still work, but because you still rely on income from your work, so you work, but you're not concerned whether your work's gonna last or not last, whether you're gonna get a raise or not. You just work. So ubeka doesn't mean that you throw up your hands and say, I have nothing to do with everybody or everything. You still do things that you have to do normally. You still have responsibility toward things, toward yourself, toward other people. You do that, but in a way that doesn't disturb your mind. Okay?
And that not to disturb the mind is through a lot of meditation, even though the mind can be disturbed and still continue to work.
Well, if you can let go with ubeka, that means you already have meditated. Without ubeka, you won't be able to do it. So if you have real ubeka, you won't ask this question. So if you ask this question, it means you don't have real ubeka. So you better go seek the real ubeka. And then you don't have to go ask people what's the difference between the real ubeka and the fake ubeka. So start with mindfulness. Always come back to mindfulness.
So Ajahn, when our mind is weak, how do we, when the mind is weak, there's tendency to look for environment to support the meditation, like to meditate inside a monastery.
Good place to go strengthen your mind. Monastery is a place for you to strengthen your mind, because you can be alone and then you can develop mindfulness. Mindfulness is the one that will make your mind become strong. When you have ubeka, your mind feels like a rock, not moved by anything.
So one more question, Ajahn. If the mind is defiled with mainly fear, and the fear manifests as anger or reaction, so there is quite deep issue.
That's because it has no ubeka. So you have to go to ubeka, and there will be no fear.
The irony about having to meditate is the mind realizes there's actually a lot of fear behind. It's a complex, like the mind is afraid. There's a fear of, there's a knowing that you know that attachment is not leading to anywhere, but there's at the same time there's fear. It's also like obstacle, not letting us to have the courage to look into the mind or look into the self. So there is the self that is blocking, that the mind and the I is blocking the condition of fear that comes from past childhood.
You should just forget about all these things and just practice mindfulness. If you think you'll fall into the old trap, all your information is based on delusion. So when you think you're just using delusion to create all this fear and anger and dissatisfaction, all you have to do is just use mindfulness, wipe it all out from your mind. Bhutto, bhutto, bhutto. If you stay with bhutto, then you cannot think about your past, you cannot think about your future. You just think about only bhutto, bhutto, bhutto. So simple, and yet so hard to do. Okay?
Thank you, Dhamma.
All right. Next, Gary from Singapore. Any question from you, Gary? I cannot hear you. Can you speak louder? No sound coming from you today. Something wrong with your microphone, or when you enter the room, the program will ask you to use you didn't click on that, using the computer microphone or something. So you won't be able to talk to us under the present circumstances.
You plug off the headphone, take it out.
Any sound?
Okay now. Okay.
No questions from me, Thanachan, for now. Just happy to be listening in.
All right. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Next, Gideon So from Penang.
Good evening. No question today.
Okay. Next, Sri and Czech. Any question today?
Tanajan?
Hello, Tanajan. My question is, we know Dhamma is sanditiko and also ehipassiko. Tanajan, can you briefly explain to us like ehipassiko?
Ehipassiko, Dhamma is challenging you, calling you to to try the Dhamma, Ehipassiko. Waving the hand, calling you, come and join me, Dhamma saying. Come and join the practice of mindfulness.
Yes.
And the development of wisdom. Inviting you, the Spirit Dhamma, Ehipassiko. Dhamma is inviting you.
Okay. Then we practice, then we prove it to ourselves.
Yes. By bringing the Dhamma into your heart, open the ego. By the practice of mindfulness.
Oh, okay.
Then you get santitiko, then you experience jhana, you experience ubeka, you experience peace.
Yes. It's like from Buddha like mentioned, if we develop mindfulness, then we won't have to worry about fear. We can conquer fear, we can conquer discontent. So
Yes.
this we have to go and prove it to ourselves.
That's right. By practicing, by following what he tells you to do.
Yeah.
Go live alone in a monastery, become a monk. Like me, like the Buddha. Then you can really practice fully, because to get result you need to practice full time.
Yeah.
It's like if you want to win in sport, you have to be full-time player, not just part-time player. Same way, if you want Magga Phala Nibbana, if you want Ubekha, you want Jhana, you need to practice full-time. Except if you have special from your past, if you have already developed this Dhamma in the past, then you might be able to practice where you are now. But for most people, they need to isolate themselves, to be alone, so that they can concentrate on the practice fully. Okay.
Yes.
How about you, Che?
I really like the Q&A on you said about somebody asked you about Samma Sankappo, whether it's a thing about on a daily life basis, like it's a thing about anicca dukkha anatta, or it's about getting rid of greed, hatred, and delusion. You say it's all of it, all of it. I think you answered. I just want to confirm that if we keep reciting Buddha, that's Samma Sankappo, Ajahn?
No, that's Samma. You're developing Samma Sati, mindfulness.
Okay.
With Samma Sankappo, you think according to the Buddhas, tell us to think, avoid doing all evil, avoid doing all bad karmas, do only good karmas, and purify the mind. These are Samma Sankappo instruction. Thoughts. With Bhutto, this is just a way of developing Samma Sati, or mindfulness.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Chanting, these are all for, they don't have any meanings. They're just there to stop you from thinking aimlessly, thinking delusionally.
And so metta, like having metta to people, that's Samma Sankappo?
Samma Sankappo.
Okay.
Having metta means doing good things. And also avoid doing bad things. A person who's metta won't hurt other people.
Ajahn, I have another question also from the Q&A. Somebody asked you about when they have dukkha, and a noble an arahant doesn't experience dukkha. But you say it's the arahant also experience good and bad feeling, but they just not consumed by it. I think you use the word they're not consumed by it. Ajahn, so like even if not even, I mean when once you enter the stream, you're not consumed by good and bad feelings anymore, or is it there's a level of it?
You're not consumed by the dukkha created by yourself, from your desire, from your cravings. But you still have to experience the dukkha coming from the 5 khandhas. The body gets sick. The Buddha, he said, after walking for a while, he get tired. So he asked his attendant, the Venerable Ananda, please lay down my robe for me. I want to lay down, and fetch me a glass of water. So he still experienced painful feeling from the body, but he's not consumed by it. Not like people with defilement, the mind also become consumed by the painful feeling of the body.
So Ajahn, that's an arahant. What about before arahant? Like sotapan, are they consumed by it? Less?
Well, you better practice better, because it's just speculation on your part.
That's true.
As you advance from each step, you are delimiting dukkha created by your cravings, but the other things still remain the same. The dukkha from the khandha still remain the same with every level of area, of noble disciples. They still experience the same thing. But the dukkha that created by the cravings vary from level to level. You eliminate succeedingly each level. You will eliminate more dukkha from your cravings. First, your craving are your fetters, really. That's what it means. So you have, for Sotapanna, you get rid of 3 fetters. So you get rid of three dukkhas from the 3 fetters, but you still have the 7 fetters to deal with, to create dukkha for you. So this is what happens to the mind. And once you reach the arahant, then all the 10 fetters have been dealt with, been eliminated from the mind. So no dukkha will be created by the mind. But there are still dukkha from the 5 khandhas. From what you see bright light, it can hurt your eyes. You get bad feeling from it leads into loud noise, it can hurt your ears. Have a toothache. These are all bad feelings, like painful feelings. But they arise from the 5 khandhas, from the body. This the Buddha and all the noble disciples also experience, just like you and I do. But they're not consumed by them. That's the problem. That's the difference. Like the news of the spread of the virus, they're not concerned. They're not disturbed. But for noble people, they couldn't go to sleep. They worry, am I going to die tomorrow? Am I going to catch the virus or not? This won't happen to their mind, their arahant mind. See the difference?
Big difference.
The 5 khandhas don't change, whether you are an arahant or not. The 5 khandhas still keep creating good and bad feeling, good pleasant feeling sometimes, bad unpleasant feeling sometimes, neutral feeling. It depends on the condition that cause it to arise. But the mind of an arahant is not being consumed by any of these feelings, all these three feelings. That's what they give you the example of the drop of water on the lotus leaf. So the mind of the arahant experienced the dukkha from the five khandhas, but not consumed. Not like the mind of ordinary people like you. It's like a piece of paper. You drop a drop of paper, a drop of water on paper, it will be sucked in by the paper.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. I really like that word consume. You use that word. It's
Consume,
perfect.
overwhelm.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn.
You doing okay? Everything in Canada okay?
Lots of fire, Ajahn.
Fire in the west.
Forest fire.
Yeah,
Ajahn.
forest fire. How about the infection? Is it under control more or less?
Actually, yesterday got worse, and unfortunately, the monastery I used to go for my retreat, they have to evacuate, Ajahn.
Oh, really? That's still...
Yeah, on the mountain, they got affected by the fire.
Oh, you mean the fire? What I'm talking about is the infection.
No, they have to. It's more the fire, Ajahn. They have to evacuate.
But do you still have daily infection rate? People still get infected by the virus?
Cases are under control, Ajahn, and the infection is but it's under control. But it's the fire now, so non-stop dukkha. It's really samsara.
The numbers of hospitalization or death is minimal now.
Minimal, yeah.
Because the majority of people have the 2 shots of vaccine already.
Right, exactly, Ajahn.
Okay.
And you got your shot too, Ajahn, right?
I got my last Wednesday. And I got a fever for 1 day. Pain and fever. Ache and pain.
As the first shot, Ajahn. Same as the
stronger than the first shot. Second shot much more obvious. The first one's kind of half and half. You can sort of you're having it, but it's not as strong. But the second one is really strong.
Oh, I see.
I think you get sick by the flu, by the normal flu.
Your immune system is working, Ajahn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go to Evie from Indonesia. Evie?
Yeah, Ajahn. Can you hear me, Ajahn?
Yes.
Yeah, Ajahn, I want to ask. 3 days ago when meditating, my legs start hurt. But here it's a bit strange because I see this heartbeat like see someone else dying, not me. I am here, I'm just fine. When time runs out, this body and pain are back together with me very fast. And I feel having a body is suffering because I have to feel pain. This is very, very good. If later I get sick, I can make it like seeing other people who are sick, not me. But how to apply it, Ajahn?
Just knowing, just merely know that the body is sick, the body is creating painful feeling, but you are the mind, you're just the one who knows, then you just don't have to react to the body's condition. Just accept it for what it is.
Just accept. But if the hurt, the pain is very seriously, do I can make it again like this meditation? I'm not sure, Ajahn.
Well, just practice it. Do it now. Keep doing it. If you could do it once, you should be able to do it again and again.
But I but I accidentally found it, not my intentional to find it. All right, this is accidentally. How can I apply it when I get later?
Just like when you did it before. See? So how you get there, you have to find out for yourself. I don't know how. If you don't know, then you have to use the mantra, use the breath to calm your mind.
Okay. Just calm the mind. The key
Calm the
is
mind.
to just calm the mind.
Not to react to the sickness of the body, to the painful feeling from the body. Just let them come and go. Let them exist. You try to learn to exist with them, coexist with them.
Okay, I will try that. And my meditation today is like putting a golf ball into the hole. I do it with patiently, don't touch, don't force, like blowing the ball so it falls into the hole. Finally, it falls. And I feel everything. I feel the breath so new. I am the new person who is sitting here, and the mind and body united. I am very happy. It's just like everything very balanced, very peaceful, no problem. And the face are straight like the face of the great Buddha. Is this samadhi, Ajahn?
Yeah. Sounds like it. If you're happy, then that's samadhi.
Yeah, I feel like Buddha sitting here. My face also is very bright. Wow, it's very.
The mind of the Buddha is like
maybe.
that. The mind of the Buddha is like that.
Yeah. So when it then come up a statement, the statement is fail to promise in silence. It is talking to you. Success also promised in silence. It takes effort to achieve it. So be careful. I never heard this statement, Ajahn. But why did this come to my mind when I was meditating earlier?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's not important.
I feel this statement is very good for me.
So if you can make use of it, make it good. If it's beneficial for you, then okay, use it.
So after I meditation, I felt satisfied and happy, and I immediately do dana to Buddha statue who is organized by Ajahn King. I was very happy. My head is felt like hollow and empty, but very happy. Is that the effect from that samadhi?
Yes.
Until now, I so happy. Still happy. I feel still happy until now.
Good.
But tomorrow, maybe no again.
But
yeah, I hope.
Once you know how to do it, you can always do it. Keep it happy all the time.
Yeah. I must try again tomorrow morning.
Okay. Is that all? All right.
Yes, that's all.
Next, Chen Yi, Fong Sin Yi, and Chen Kamfu, using your full Chinese name today.
Good evening, Tan Ajahn.
Okay.
Do you hear me?
Yes. Not louder. Can you speak a bit louder?
Louder. Okay.
Okay. Good.
New device, so not so. Let's see. Okay. Can you hear?
Yeah. Okay now. Now it's gone. No sound coming from you.
Okay, I'm not speaking. Now only speaking.
Okay.
So today, actually, I have a question to ask. It's regarding, let's say, if previously I was focusing on my meditation object, then I achieved some calmness. But then after that, I realized that actually I already came out from the calmness, and then I noticed that the mind start to move around. And then when the mind is aware of the pain, the mind start to have aversion. So today my question is, when I face this situation, should I focus, contemplate on the pain, or should I look at the aversion?
Look at the what?
Aversion.
Aversion. Yeah. Not, you should focus on the mantra or on your breath. Ignore your pain, because if you look at your pain, your defilement will react right away, wanting to get rid of the pain by having aversion. So if you look at this pain or aversion, you're creating more aversion, more pain. So try to ignore it, try to forget about it, not to think about it. Just keep focusing on your mantra or on your breath if you use your breathing as your meditation object. Unless you know how to use wisdom, then you can look at the pain directly. Study it like you study a specimen. Look at, is this pain anicca or anatta? Or you can ask anatta or not anatta. If it's anatta, it means you cannot do anything with it. It's like the wind, it's like something that is natural, something that happens naturally, like the weather. So the way to deal with something natural is to live with it, to accept it. Like you accept the snow, you accept the rain, you accept the heat. So you should then teach your mind to accept the pain. That's a natural phenomenon. Don't try to do anything with it. Just accept it. Just merely coexist with it. Leave it alone. Let it be. If you can do this, then your mind will not be affected. Your mind will be calm and peaceful and happy.
Okay. So that means if I want to develop wisdom, then I have to actually look at the pain.
That's right.
Okay.
And tell yourself, where does this pain come from? Who is really experiencing this pain? You or the body? You or the mind? You're not the one that experiencing the pain. You just merely know the pain. But it's the body that experiencing the pain. And the body doesn't care, right? The body can exist with the pain. But the mind is the one that is the problem. The mind don't want to coexist with the pain. So it creates aversion, which creates dukkha in the mind, restlessness and agitation and stress. But if you can teach your mind not to react, to accept the painful feeling, then the aversion will be eliminated. The stress and your agitation will be eliminated, and your mind will remain calm, peaceful, and happy.
So if I look at the aversion and the aversion is very strong, then I will go back into my meditation object.
If you cannot use wisdom to get rid of your aversion, if you have wisdom, then you will accommodate the painful feeling. Then there will be no aversion. If you have aversion, it means you're not accommodating your painful feeling. You're not coexisting. It's like somebody you live with. When you get angry at that person, you don't want to stay with that person. When you have aversion, whatever. But you teach yourself that you're going to have to live with this person. You have no choice. Then you have to teach your mind to accept this reality that you have no choice. You just have to learn to live with this person. Once you can do this, then you can get rid of your aversion, and then you can live with this person. even though you don't like this person anymore, but you can live with this person. Same way with painful feeling. You don't like this painful feeling, but you cannot get rid of it. You cannot run away from it. So you just have to learn to accept it and learn to live with it.
All right.
All right. If you cannot do this yet with wisdom, then just use mindfulness. Bhutto, bhutto, bhutto. Keep watching your breath. Something watching your breath is not strong enough for your mind to ignore. And using a mantra, it might be better. Try it. This is something you have to do. Eventually you'll get it. Just keep trying. First using mindfulness, or you can use wisdom, teach your mind that the pain belongs to the body. The mind is just someone who happens to come around and experiencing or acknowledging it, knowing it.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Tanajan.
Okay. Next, Kwan Lee Man from Singapore. Kwan Lee.
Ajahn, I'm from Malaysia.
Okay. Any question from you?
I have no question today, Ajahn.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me go to Cal Sumac. Where are you from, Cal?
From Brazil. I have two questions. From Brazil.
You have a
Excuse
question?
me. I have two questions today. Thank you for this opportunity. The first is, what do you think that is important to consider?
Can you please repeat the question again? Not quite clear.
When finding a motive of the mass.
Can you repeat your question again?
Why is important to ordain in Thai?
Very hard to hear. Can
you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, okay now. Go ahead and ask your question again.
Okay. What do you think that is important to consider when finding a monastery to be ordained?
Well, first of all, as a teacher, someone who can guide you. But if you don't need a teacher, if you know the teaching from the Buddha, then you want to look at the second one is the quiet environment. The environment should be quiet, conducive to your meditation practice. No other work like construction work or no other activities except just meditation.
And do you think that is important to be ordained in Thailand or not? This is not necessary.
It depends on if you need what you need. If you need a teacher, then you have to find a teacher somewhere. Maybe in Brazil, there might be a good teacher there. And if you can find a teacher and a good place to practice in Brazil, you don't need to have to come to Thailand.
Thank you. Can I make the second question?
Yes, go ahead.
I hear several stories of monks who disrobed with 10 and 15 years as a monk. In your opinion, do you think that is important to create a structure in lay life to return if necessary? For example, finish university or something like this?
Well, it depends on each individual, not necessarily the same with everybody. It's like a fruit. Once the fruit is ripened, it will fall off a tree. So if your mind is ripened, you will take the decision to ordain, regardless of what other situation might be. Like the Buddha, his mind ripened at the time of the birth of his son. He said, I can no longer stay with my family because my son is like a bondage to me, a shackle. If I remain, I will be shackled to the family by my son. So he has to leave that night without saying goodbye. So you have to find the moment for you, when it's right for you.
Thank you, Tanajan. Thank you so much.
Okay. Who else is online? Oh, Sulan. Hi, Sulan.
Yeah, hello, Ajahn.
Yes, go ahead. Any question from you today?
Yeah, I have a question. Yeah, thank you, Ajahn. I just want to ask, like, just now you were mentioning about how to deal with physical pain. What about mental pain? Because you were saying that the the pain in the body is just in the body, it's not the mind. But then if it's a mental pain, like a lot of dukkha in the mind, then how can we actually deal with it? Because the mental pain is so much that no, I feel aversion to do meditation because just worried it will be overwhelming.
Well, most of your mental pain arises from your defilement, arises from your cravings, the three cravings: craving for sensual pleasures, craving for being, and craving for not being. So when you have this mental pain, you ask yourself, what am I craving now? Do I want to go to a movie? Do I want to be with my boyfriend and he's not around? Something like that. Then when you realize that it's caused by your craving, then you have to teach your mind to stop your craving.
Then I got to teach my mind to stop my craving.
That's right. Just teach your mind to be content with whatever you have. Basically, be content with the four living requisites of life. That's all you need to exist. So don't crave for any other thing. Then you will get rid of most of your anxiety, your stress in yourself. The stress in yourself caused by your desire to get this and that, to be this and that, see, or not to be this and not to be that. If you can get rid of all this desire, then there will be no stress in your mind. Did I hear that you wanted to help transcribe some of the talks? Were you the one who wants to help with the transcription? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thank you. This can help you when you transcribe. You have to concentrate and you have to understand what you transcribe. So you will learn from transcribing Dhamma talks. Like Claudia, she learned by translating the Dhamma talks. Because when you translate, you have to think. You have to understand what you're translating. Because sometimes when you listen, it can come and go very quickly. Sometimes you might understand and sometimes you might not understand.
Yeah. Then I was halfway translating, as in transcribing last Wednesday's talk. Then I think it's helpful. Then I was transcribing word for word. Then just wondering, like, is that the right way to transcribe?
Just transcribe what you hear. That's the right.
Okay.
And maybe if something I said is not correctly, not correct, maybe grammatically or maybe the word might be misused, then you can change them. But as long as you understand the message, you don't change the message.
And then like if let's say you are saying next person, then the person say no question, do I also transcribe it?
I don't think you should. You don't need to. Just get to the meat of the conversation.
Mm.
Not the dressing on the plate. You don't eat the dressing. You eat the meat. You eat the potatoes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was transcribing word for word, and it was a bit hard because I tried to get the name of the person and typing it down. Yeah.
Actually, I think in Google now they can transcribe
Mm.
also. If you know how to use Google Translating, you can translate all the sound, the word into text.
Yeah.
And then you might be able to edit it later on.
Actually, I joined one of your Thai Dhamma talk. Then I used the Google Translate. Then it translated from Thai to English. Then but I don't know Thai, so when I read the translated version, then like there's some that sounded weird.
Yeah, that's because Google doesn't understand Buddhist terminology. When I use Buddhist terminology, it doesn't understand Vedana, it doesn't understand the five khandhas. So,
Okay.
so you have to come and check, edit the second time around. First you let Google translate for you, then you have to read and maybe edit the text again. But at least you might get 50% of the message.
Yeah. Still can capture some of the message there, here and there.
Okay. No question, no more question, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
You're welcome. I think everybody has asked his or her question. So maybe let me now go to Facebook. Okay. Kunla, do we have any question from Facebook tonight?
Yes, we have 7 questions, Ajahn.
Go ahead.
First question from Po Leong Soon. Can Ajahn tell what are the meditation obstacles for lay person? Thank you.
Obstacle in meditation, we call the 5 hindrances. That can be with any meditator, whether lay person or monk. The first one is doubt. Doubt in the Buddha's teaching. Doubt in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha teaching. Whether this teaching can produce the result that it tells us that sometimes you doubt this. And so you doubt whether using Bhutto can get you into jhana or not, for instance. So you have doubt, then you have to go talk to people who use Bhutto and say they can guarantee you that definitely if you use Bhutto, you'll get into the 4th jhana. Then you can dispel your doubt that way. Secondly, sensual desire, sensual pleasure. The desire for sensual pleasure will be an obstacle because sometimes you want to watch TV or you want to eat a good meal instead of meditating. And after you're eating a good meal, you feel sleepy. So you want to go to sleep. Then you have the third problem, hindrance is the sloth or torpor, sleepiness or laziness. Because when you eat too much, then you want to go to sleep rather than you want to meditate. And the fourth one is the anger. Sometimes you get angry at somebody says something or do something that doesn't make you happy, then you become angry. Then you cannot concentrate on the meditation. So you have to learn to forgive and forget. Forgive the person or forget what the person did or said to you. Then you can once you forget, then your anger will disappear. Then you can then continue on with your meditation. The last one is your mental restlessness and agitation. You might keep thinking about this and that, worry about this and that, anxious about this and that. afraid of this and that. Like now with the COVID-19, for instance, this is what we call restlessness and agitation, mental one. So you need to develop mindfulness to curb this restlessness. Keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Don't think about the virus. Let the virus come and go. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. Okay. These are the 5 hindrances.
Next question from Johanna Lee. Good evening, Ajahn. When practicing to see everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta, but after some times it is unbearable and start causing a slight of fear in my mind. Does it mean that a strong heart is needed to contemplate anicca, dukkha, anatta, Ajahn? I have just started continuous contemplation of anicca, dukkha, anatta for just about 1 month, Ajahn. Please advise.
Okay, you have to stop temporarily and come back to meditate to strengthen your mind. You have to get your mind into ubekha, equanimity. Once you have equanimity, and when you come out of meditation, you can come back and contemplate again. Contemplate until you feel that you can no longer contemplate. Then you go back to meditation again. These are the two practices that goes together, hand in hand. They're like the left and the right foot. You step on the left, then you step on the right. Same way, you meditate first to get equanimity. Once you have equanimity, you come out. After you come out, you contemplate on anicca, dukkha, anatta, on the sukha. And after a while, your mind can become weakened and feel bad from contemplating. Then you stop, and you go back to meditate again to get equanimity.
Next question from Chi Ching Chuan. Dear Ajahn, you mentioned that focus on breathing in and out at the tip of our nose, but I keep following the breath movement to my lung and follow it out again. How do I focus it at the tip of the nose? Thank you.
Well, just like watching football, watching TV, how do you focus? You watch the screen, right? You watch the monitor. So compare the tip of your nose as a monitor. Just look at the tip of your nose like you watch the screen of the television. Same thing. Okay.
Next question from Mandy Smith. What if someone is aggressive or violent towards you? How to respond if they are very intimidating? If they attack you, should I just try to calm mine? Thank you.
Well, treat them like they're tigers. What do you do with tigers? If you can run away from them. If you cannot run away, then you just have to remain calm and let the tiger do whatever the tiger wants to do. Because you cannot do anything with the tiger. So this is the way to deal with aggressive people. Just remain calm and let them say and do whatever they want to say. If you can avoid them, avoid them. If you don't have to meet them, don't meet them. But if you have to come face to face with them, then just try to remain calm. Don't react to them. Don't give them fuel to become more aggressive.
Next question from Tin Jack. Dear Ajahn, thank you for your spending time with us again. Please forgive me if I have misheard. You have mentioned that there was once a monk who is well versed in walking meditation, and while meditating, he met a tiger, and instead of running away, he went deep into his mind. I would like to know, why did he seek safety by going inside, and where did he actually go? Thank you.
It goes into jhana. His mind goes into jhana, into the to remain detached from the body. At that moment, when he enters into jhana, the body disappears from his awareness. So he doesn't know what happens to his body, whether it's being eaten up by the tiger or not. It doesn't matter to his mind at that time. The reason why he would go into jhana because he's been training with mindfulness all the time. So instead of the mind becoming fearful and start to run away from the tiger, the mind instead go inside into jhana.
Next question from Hendrik Ing An. Namaskaranท่านอาจารย์ from Indonesia. For a couple of months, there are always many ants on the floor in our bathroom. I try to remove them before I take a bath, but they always move back after a few minutes. I have also tried to use some liquids that they don't like, but they still always get back soon, and some might die. So nowadays, I just try to remove them as usual before taking a bath. Is this the right thing to do, ท่านอาจารย์?
Well, if you want to abstain from killing, then you try to do that. Try to not kill the ant in whichever way you can do. Is that all the question from Facebook for now?
Still have 3 questions, ท่านอาจารย์.
Okay, go ahead.
Next question from Jimmy Ong. Ajahn, if our feelings of anger arises but only came to realize later, not at a particular moment, how can we react immediately or act fast by knowing that it will cause suffering? Thank you.
Well, if you don't know immediately, then you cannot do anything about it. You just have to look by hindsight and say, "Oh, I got angry just now." So, if I want to know immediately, then you have to learn to develop more mindfulness. Because the stronger your mindfulness, then your ability to be aware of what's going on in your mind will be much quicker.
Next question from Simei. Dear Ajahn, I have a regular meditation session every day in the morning, which the mind will naturally be motivated to meditate every morning. But after morning meditation, the mind has no motivation to meditate for the rest of the day. Recently, I learned lying down meditation, which is very comfortable for the mind and the body. When the mind has no motivation to do sitting meditation, the mind is okay with lying down meditation. Would you consider lying down meditation a form of meditation? I do not fall asleep when doing lying down meditation. Sadhu and thank you.
Well, if you don't go to sleep and your mind becomes calm from doing that, it's okay. You can do that form of meditation also.
And last question from Tony Yep. Hante Chitta is 5 aggregates. Is not 5 aggregate. What is it? Is it permanent? Thank you.
The chitta is the mind, the one who knows. And inside the mind, there are 4 khandhas. Inside the mind, there are Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana. We can call them the function or the function of the mind. But the mind is the one who knows. It's a knowing, the awareness of the conscious. So the mind is permanent. The mind never dies. But the khandha, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana, they keep changing. They keep changing back and forth. The mind, Sankhara keeps thinking and then it stops sometime and then think again. Sanya, remember, perceive, and then sometimes it stops. Vedana keep changing from pleasant Vedana to unpleasant Vedana to neutral Vedana. But all the four khandha also is permanent. They don't disappear. They are part of the mind.
Ajahn, one more question just come. Question from Bunny. Good evening, Pante. I am new to Anapanasati, but have been practicing rising, falling for a long time. I have faith in your teaching and try to practice Anapanasati. Can I follow my breath? I feel worried about finding the contact point at tip of my nostril. Thank you.
If you use falling, watching falling and rising of the abdomen, that is also part of the anapanasati practice. You can choose the point of focus, whether at your abdomen, your chest, or at the tip of your nose, whichever one you feel inclined to do. If you like watching your abdomen, your chest, you can watch your chest rising and falling. Or you can watch the breath coming in and out at the tip of your nose. Whichever method is good enough. Okay.
And one question from same person,ท่านอาจารย์ and he said, can I also make a mental note in, out? Thank you.
Well, if it can calm your mind, not think about other things, you can do it. But if it's possible, if you don't have to make a mental note, it's better, just to be aware.
That's all,ท่านอาจารย์
Is that all?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll come back to whoever wants to ask the question in the second round here. Anybody, somebody, if you want to ask questions, just raise your hand and unmute your microphone.
Billy.
Okay.
Billy.
Yes, I have a question, Ajahn, about the dukkha vedana experienced by arahant. I just want to clarify my understanding. So, do arahants still experience dukkha vedana from the mind? I mean, spiritual painful feeling, maybe like anger or sadness, or it's only the body painful feeling with is left? Thank you.
The arahant don't experience dukkha from the defilement, from love, hate, and delusion, but they still can feel the dukkha from the five khandhas, whether from the body or from the mental khandha. If they can do, sometimes they can be restless or agitated, not because of the defilement, but maybe because of the situation force it to be restless and agitated. And that can be considered to be the mental dukkha, but not from the defilement, not created by the defilement, but by the conditions around that cause it. Okay? So they are not, they got rid of all the dukkha from the defilement, from love, hate, fear, or delusion. But if there are other types of dukkha, they can arise, but they won't consume the mind either. The mind just acknowledge, like the dukkha from the body.
Okay. So they can still experience some agitation.
Well, you have to prove it for yourself better. You know.
Oh, okay. I see.
Because it's not important for you to know it right now. You know. So you just have to keep on practicing for yourself. And one day you'll find out the answer for yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Musli. Unmute your microphone. Okay.
Ajahn, we actually were challenged by the Buddha to end his savakas to become a scientist of the mind, of citta?
Yeah, the
For in,
Buddha challenged us all to prove his teaching, to prove his theory, the Four Noble Truths, whether it's true or not.
so, for example, when there is a pain in the body, if we come to know the process of or the mechanism or how the body actually is more to a body condition which is consists of the four elements, and then we translate it as a, let's say, we Vedana, or we it's a painful, whether we like or we don't doesn't like, it's a bad feeling or a good feeling, but actually it's only a body condition which arise or in the process or keep operational. There are some can be translated as a good feeling. There are some can be translated as a bad feeling by the mind. Is the body condition, all this actually is just like a condition of a situation where the four elements are incorporating or disintegrating.
Well, the conditions of the body keep changing, and the consequence feeling also keep changing from the changing condition of the body. Sometimes you eat something and cause stomach ache, so you have unpleasant feeling arising when you get stomach ache. So feeling keep changing with the condition of the body, with the changing condition of the body. When the body catches virus, it gets fever. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn.
Does that answer your question, or what do you want to know?
Hello, Ajahn. Just
what do you want to know?
It's the body condition that actually is like a process changing from time to time, and then we translate it into a pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling.
Yes, the changing condition of the body causes the feeling to change accordingly.
Yes, so it's actually only some process of the four elements in the body.
Mm. As far as the feeling that arising from the body is concerned, but there are also feelings from the mind created by your thoughts.
Yes.
You think about something you don't like, you already have bad feeling. Thinking of the money you have to pay back the bank, you already have bad feeling, and this is caused by your defilement, your desire not to give up the money that you have. Okay. This is caused by your craving, your desire.
Yes. So the other one that Ajahn pointing is also the Vedana condition from the thoughts. Okay, thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Next, Michael, you are raising your hand. You have to unmute your microphone first. Okay.
Sorry. There has been many questions about dukkha in the body and the mind and so on. And there is a sutta from the Buddha, which someone who is interested can find it, can read it. It's called The Arrow. And let me see the name here in Pali. It's the Sala Sutta. And it's the Samyutta Nikaya 36, number 6. And in that sutta, the Buddha describes painful feeling, a pleasant feeling in the body and in the mind, and how an uninstructed person feels it, and how a Buddhist practitioners feel it. So my suggestion is if someone has an interest to check. It's a short sutta, Samyutta Nikaya, and it's a complement to all the discussions that we had here today.
Thank you. You're well versed with the scriptures.
Yes, as I mentioned, I have a website with translations to Portuguese, and it's more than 20 years that I'm dealing with that. Although I have stopped doing translations for quite a few years now, but there are many suttas there, and if someone wants to read in English, there are many websites that have suttas in English.
When you translate, did you choose particular ones, or you translate all of them?
No, I translated all the Majjhima Nikaya suttas, which are 152 suttas. I translated the Digha Nikaya. Of the Samyutta Nikaya, I translated a large number of suttas, but some of the chapters, like for example this one, the Khandas, the Nidana, I translated all the suttas, also from the Anguttara Nikaya, a large number, and from the smaller, let's say, Nikayas, I have also translated many suttas. In total, I translated 8,000 suttas. And the total number of suttas is about 10,000.
Good. So did you find it helpful with your practice?
Yes, very helpful, especially now that I have dedicated more time to the practice since the beginning of the pandemic. There are some points that really the suttas help a lot. And so yes, it was beneficial. But on the other side, I think I have maybe lost too much time doing those translations, and I should have dedicated more time to my practice based on what the outcome that I see when I started to do more practice at the beginning of the pandemic. So that as also in your teachings, there has to be a proper balance, not too much learning, not too much theory, and practice is much more important.
That's right. Okay. Thank you. Sajal, did you raise your hand, Sajal? Please go ahead. Unmute your microphone. You find your mute.
Okay. Thank you, Tanajan. To my co-listeners and who are in general listening to Tanajan's presentations and Dhamma talks, I think that the singular thing that kind of stays with me is that just like Michael was mentioning, so that like Ajahn Jeffrey, who's in California now, and I think he also followed the forest tradition, so that he has also translated all the things extensively available. And I have read them before I started watching and listening to and reading Tanajan's Dhamma presentations and what have you. And I will singularly actually say to my co-listeners that you will immensely benefit, because I think Tanajan is actually basic theme remains very simple and to the point always. So I think if you go back and read his writings, Tanajan's writings, and also Ajahn Mahabua's writings, and some of those books were actually translated in English beautifully, and I'm privileged to send some of my fellow practitioners like Czech and other people actually has sent me books, and I think that you'll find it immensely beautiful, and in the sense that you'll have actually resonance in your heart. If you're paying attention to Tanajan, you will have actually literal resonance. That's, hey, this is what he was saying, and I have seen it again and again. This is like listening to the same talk, but it's something that you didn't get first time, it comes back. And the writings are actually singularly useful. And why I'm emphasizing this, because that you have to kind of think that which tradition you want to follow. So once if you decide in your mind on a forest tradition of Thai, Buddhism and stuff, then I think that your path is kind of very, very nicely delineated and explained in terms of simple things, and it comes down to few basic things. but that's why we are very, very easily challenged. And we make progress, but only so long as we think we are making progress at intellectual level by reading and reading and reading, we are actually in the circle. We become a scholar in Buddhism, nothing more than that. Again, that's my view. So what I'm actually saying that a lot of you actually are making progress, and I wish I could do that, but I'm trying, and I'll keep on trying till I die. But I'm thinking that if you are keen on the forest tradition, then books can be useful. But I think if you think you have found a way, and that is the first edition, then we have the teacher right here, right now. So I think I'm actually very happy to be the company of all of you, and especially Ajahn. May he stay healthy during these times and give us guidance and teaching like this. Thank you, Ajahn. That's all I have to say.
You're welcome. Okay, anybody else have any question?
Kun Nanapat raised her hand.
Okay, Nanapat.
Yes, Tanajan, I have one question more. If some persons always cannot control their emotional and have many fear of feeling, it came from they have not enough, they not have enough mindfulness, right? Is that right?
Both mindfulness and wisdom, samadhi, they don't see things as being anicca, dukkha, anatta.
So for these people, they have to practice more mindfulness and the wisdom.
More wisdom. The wisdom is anicca, usually about the body. I think people lack the understanding of the body, that the body is subjected to aging, sickness, and death. People,
impermanent, right?
Yeah, impermanent. And anatta, that the body doesn't belong to them. The body just belongs to nature. It comes from nature and it will go back to nature.
Last night I got some calling from my friend that she have this situation, and I suggest her to have more practice about mindfulness, and so I have to suggest her to practice more about wisdom, right?
Yes, both mindfulness to calm the mind and teach the mind the truth. That things are always changing, things is never lasting. Things will one day fall apart.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's it. That's all right. Okay.
The Buddha teach all Buddhists to reflect that having been born, we are all subjected to aging, sickness, and death, and separation.
Yes.
This is something we should not forget. Once we have this knowledge in the back of our mind, then our worry and fear and anxiety will be lessened, or if not totally diminished or eliminated, it will become lessened.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ajahn.
Anybody else?
Sinji.
Sinji?
Yeah, Sinji.
Put down the hand. Good evening, Ajahn.
Please go ahead if you have a question.
Yeah, so Ajahn, I would like to ask on, so basically, like if let's say when I meditate at home, after the mind is calm, normally automatically start to contemplate on the body. So, but I realized that there is a difference like during in retreat and at home. So at home normally is quite superficial. I'm quite calm, but I realized that the contemplation is not so clear. So whereas in retreat it's very clear. So should I actually get more calm and more concentration first before I start the contemplation, or just let it contemplate but at a more superficial level?
Well, you should separate the two practices. Don't combine them. When you meditate, don't contemplate at all. Just keep the mind calm for as long as possible. Half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever. Don't worry about contemplation when you meditate for calm. After you finish with your meditation for calm, and your mind start to be active, thinking about this and that, then you can start contemplating on anicca, first on your body or on the things around you, people around you, things, your possession and things like that, to remind you that nothing belongs to you permanently. Everything will eventually be snatched away from you.
Okay. So actually, so actually when I meditate, so I will get calmness. So then after that, when I meant that when I come out of the meditation, when I start to contemplate, so sometimes, like especially at home, maybe due to the condition, it's more superficial compared to when in retreat. I can feel that there's quite a vast difference. So should I actually stay in the concentration longer and deeper first before I actually come out to contemplate?
Well, see, contemplation is really two parts. Contemplating as a homework, teaching yourself to take the examination. The second part is taking the examination. So what really counts is the examination. Like suddenly your mother gets sick, and how you're gonna react to that situation. If you have done your homework well, you say, well, that's the way it is, right? We all have to get sick. And by worrying or by being disturbed by a sickness doesn't change anything. So that's the one that you should be really concerned with, is the test, the examination. But whether you can pass the examination or not depends on your doing the homework. So you have to contemplate as a homework first. Teach yourself, can you accept this fact? Can you accept that when she gets sick or when she dies, will you be disturbed by such an event or not? Ask yourself this question. If I get cancer, if the doctor diagnosed and I say, I get cancer, how would I react? Will I be agitated, restless, worried? Or do you say, this is the way it is? Treat it if you can. If you cannot treat it, if it's gonna die, then let it be. So this is the two type of contemplation. First you contemplate, and then you have to more or less simulate the real thing. Ask yourself, if this happened to me, if this happened to my mother, if this happened to my loved ones, to my possession, how would I feel? How would I react? So you have to contemplate more realistically than just reciting, oh, I will get old, get sick and die, without really feeling that truth inside your contemplation. They're just like merely theoretical, not real yet. Okay.
Thank you, Tanaja.
As far as your location and you feel the difference, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's how you might react to the surrounding where you are. Sometimes you feel it's not real when you're at home. It's more real when you're away from home, because you're really away from your possession, your thing. I don't know, but whatever it is something that you have to be aware, and then teach yourself that what will happen when this thing really happens. Can you face it? Can you accept it and not be disturbed by it? That's the thing that you want to ask yourself.
Okay. So that means, Tanaja, we can use that to gauge how is our practice going. So by using that and keep on asking ourselves, if we feel that the attachment is lesser and the greed, hatred, delusion is lesser, so it's a good way to practice.
It is, but also you can test your your ability of letting go by maybe let go of the things that is less important to you, like money, for instance. Maybe your body is more important to you than money. So if you want to see, can you let go of the money first? If you cannot let go of the money, how can you let go of your body, right? So maybe say, I should give some of my money away, since I don't need it anyway. Give away the money that you don't need, and see how you feel, whether you can do it or not. If you can do this, then you might think that you can let go of your body, but not yet, not really yet. You might have to go and live in a fearful environment to really prove it to yourself. If you are surrounded by all sorts of dangers, like in the forest, see how your mind reacts under that situation. Can your mind can remain calm and accept whatever is going to happen to the body, whether it's going to get hurt or get killed? You can accept that or not. So this is but before you can do this, you have to be quite certain about the fact that this is going to happen. Your body going to get hurt, your body going to die. By constantly reminding yourself of this, by contemplating as a homework, doing your homework first. Remind yourself all the time, not to forget this truth. And then once you realize that it's going to happen sooner or later, so you want to maybe prove it to yourself by go find a place to take the examination. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Tanaja.
All right. Evie, you raise your hand, Evie. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ajahn. Ajahn, I have currently I am facing two problems. One is laziness to wake up in the morning at 4 o'clock for meditation, and two is when meditation has passed for 1.5 hour, something pulls me out of meditation and makes me have to stretch my leg. Even though my leg still don't hurt very much, but something is raging in my heart that make me have to pause for a while. So when I pause, every time I pause, I feel regret. Why should I pause?
You run out of mindfulness. The mindfulness just expire, so you can no longer force mind to remain in meditation. If you want to continue with your meditation, then you have to restart your mindfulness by reciting the mantra. Keep watching your breath. Continue watching your breath.
Yeah, that is always happen when the time is 1/2 hour.
Yeah.
So I do for fight the raging feeling for this pause for a while, Ajahn. Is it okay if I pause, or I should just do it for through it until 2 hours, 3 hours? Where should I choose, Ajahn?
Well, do it. The more you can do it, then the better you will be.
Because when I pause for a while, I must start again start over again.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me more difficult to find the right connection again.
Don't stop. See, when you feel like stopping, don't stop. Start reciting the mantra, Bhutto, 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 and continue with your practice. Don't give up.
And for the laziness to wake up,
Well, go sleep early. Sleep about 7, 8 o'clock, then you'll get up 4 o'clock easily. If you sleep late, then you'll find it difficult to get up early in the morning.
Yeah, I feel I less sleep time. Yeah, it's really. And my question is the mission of meditation to silence the four khanda, Ajahn? Is Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana?
To stop it temporarily, to calm
Just
the
for
mind.
stop.
Yeah,
The mission of meditation is to calm this
the
four
mind
khanda.
to rest the mind, to make the mind rest and feel happy and content. Then the next mission is to teach the mind the wisdom, the truth that the Buddha had discovered.
If we achieve the Sotapannya, for the example, this four khanda is still active.
Yes, the khanda are just like machine, like a car. Yeah. You still use the car, even though you no longer have to use the car, but if it's still there, you can use it for the purpose of helping other people, like the Buddha. He still used the four khandas, the five khandas, to teach Dhamma to people.
Oh, so we use the to go to right place, do the right thing.
Yes.
Is that
Yeah. Yeah.
okay? I understand. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions from more questions from Facebook or not?
3 more questions from Facebook, ท่านอาจารย์
Okay, go ahead. After this, we'll finish. We'll stop. It's over 2 hours.
2 questions from Bunny. Thank you very much for your teaching. If I continue to practice raising falling technique, can I sometimes aware of mental phenomena? I always aware of mental phenomena until it disappears. By doing so, I feel that my mindfulness gets better. If the mental phenomena arise, but I still stick with raising falling, I experience that I cannot really focus with raising and falling. It's the way I'm doing is called Cittanupassana Satipatthana meditation.
I don't know what to call it. Call whatever you like. What's more important is the result of your practice. Whether you can calm your mind or not, that's the important thing. So don't worry about the name, what it is. Yeah. Don't worry about the name of the cat that catch the mouse for you. Just as long as the cat can catch the mouse for you, that's good enough. Okay, so don't worry about the name of the practice. Just worry whether that practice can achieve the goal you want or not, which is to calm your mind, to enter into jhana, to get your mind into ubekkha. Okay.
And next question, is there anything wrong about the way that I have been doing? And this question from the same person.
I don't know what's wrong with you. You have to ask yourself that question.
And one question from YouTube of Dr. V. She said, now her grandma who raised her as if she is her mom, and now she is infected with COVID and in the hospital, and she haven't met her for 20 days. The doctor told me to be prepared, and what can I do for her in her last moment?
Nothing you can do for her. She has to do it for herself. That's why you have to train yourself before you get sick, before you die. So that when the time comes, you don't have to have people to do things for you. You have to do it for yourself. That is to calm your mind or let go of your attachment to your body. Then you will feel peaceful and happy and not disturbed by the sickness or the death of the body. Okay, is that all?
One more question, ท่านอาจารย์
Okay.
Question from Sami. Hello, ท่านอาจารย์ When I was meditating, I feel I was going into some dream world, and all of a sudden, I heard something that sounded like a wolf growling at me, and it felt like really real and pushed me out of meditation. What is the significance of such experience? Thank you.
You had no mindfulness. This is significant. If you're mindful of your mantra, of your breath, this thing will not happen. So it means you're not mindful, and you will not be successful in your meditation by doing like this. So try to be mindful with your meditation object. Focus on your meditation object. Then nothing like this will happen. Okay? Anybody else would like to ask? Okay, Rusli.
Ajahn, is it actually as if there is no time?
You can ask. This is the last question. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, Ajahn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it actually there is like no time, Ajahn?
What do you mean, no time? No time for what?
Like there is no time, Ajahn. Like it's just empty. There is actually time is such a condition thing.
Time is measured by the changing of things, like your body. So we use the body or the movement of the planet, the stars, to measure time. But if your mind alone exists in emptiness, then there seems like there is no time exists during that time. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Okay, thank you very much for your participation in this Zoom meeting for tonight. I hope that you have benefited something from this meeting and help advance you in your practice. Also consolidate your faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Okay. So in the meantime, please stay healthy, stay safe, and stay mindful. And if nothing changed, I'll meet you again next week at the same time. Goodbye for now.
สาธุเจ้าค่ะ
สาธุค่ะ
สาธุเจ้า
ท่านอาจารย์
สาธุ
ท่านอาจารย์ค่ะ
Thank you.
everyone.
Sadhu,
Thank you.
sadhu.
Amen. Good night. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.